So welcome aboard, Captain. We're sitting on our Boeing 737-800. We're at Gold Coast Airport at the holding point for runway 32. On your left-hand side against the wall is what we call the tiller, that partial steering wheel. So that's going to steer you during the taxi phase. If you want to turn left, you pull that steering wheel down towards you. If you want to turn right, you push it forward. Just think of it like a steering wheel that's been fixed. So you can have a feel for that now because it's quite spring-loaded. That's it. And then pull it down. And you will see it's really sensitive, so you only need to move it a couple centimetres and the aircraft will respond straight away. When we are taking off and landing, we're actually going to use the rudder pedals on the floor to steer. You need to turn left, we'll press the left pedal in, and you need to turn right, we'll press the right pedal in from there. When we're physically airborne and flying around, we'll use our control column to manoeuvre. To manoeuvre to the left, just rotate left to about an 11 o'clock position, and then to go right, manoeuvre it to about a 1 o'clock position. And that's all the aircraft needs to start turning. When we want to climb, we're going to pull the controls towards us, nice and smoothly. That's it. That'll raise the nose of the aircraft and we'll climb. And when you want to descend, push it away from you and that'll lower the nose of the aircraft and we will descend. Now the aircraft is equipped with a device that will keep the aircraft in a position once you've set it. So when you pull back to raise the nose, you'll pull back, the nose will raise up, and then you'll just let it go back to neutral and the nose will stay in that position for you. So once you've done something, always back to the neutral position. Same when we turn back to neutral. In the centre, you've got your throttles for your left and your right hand engine. To increase power, move them both forward together. That's it. And you'll hear the engine start to spool up. Decrease power, pull them all the way back, and that will help slow us down. Now for the first landing here, we're going to do a touch and go landing. So we're just going to land the aircraft down on the wheels and then immediately apply full power and take off straight away. But the second landing, we come back around, we're actually going to come to a stop on the runway and we're going to use reverse to help slow us down. So to use the reverse, you just need to lift it up and over into 2 stages. That's full reverse, and then push it all the way back down again to turn it off. The second landing, we'll use speed brake as well to help slow us down. So the speed brake lever here is going to activate the spoilers on the wings. To use it, you just need to lift it up and move it back slightly, just so it's out of the detent. Once there's weight on the wheels, then that lever will automatically move back and the spoilers will automatically jump up. Over here is your flap lever as well for the trailing edge of the wings. At the moment it's set to a flap 5 for takeoff. After takeoff I'll get you to lift it up. You just need to lift... Yeah, so flap 5 for takeoff, but when we come in for landing we'll set it around the 30-degree mark, lots of flap. To manoeuvre the flap lever, just lift it up and then move it into place. So if you want to have a feel for that now. Yeah, that's it. Now directly in front of you is our primary flight display, so blue's representing the sky, brown's representing the ground, and you can see the black representation of our aircraft in the centre. Just as a reference for takeoff, we're going to pull back on the controls and bring that nose of the aircraft up to around the 10 marker. That's 10 degrees of nose up. From there, I'll just get you to set either the first or the second white line in the blue area, depending on what we need at the time. And you can push forward or pull back to achieve that. Yeah, so you just push it down. So I'll say to you, we want to set the first white line. You'll push forward and let that black dot come down at the first white line. And then you can neutralise back to the centre. The next display is your navigational display. So it's basically just a big compass rose, and the white triangle in the centre is representing our aircraft, with the tip of the triangle being the nose of the aircraft, and it's showing you we're tracking 232 degrees magnetic at the moment. Next to it is your gear handle. To activate the gear handle, you need to pull it towards you first before moving it into a place, either up or down. Always pull it towards you first. And across here is that automatic braking system. So at the moment it's set to reject at takeoff, which just means that as we start to roll and accelerate down the runway, if you pull the power levers back and want to reject the takeoff, it'll automatically apply brake pressure for you to help you stop by the end of the runway. So when we come in for the first landing, we won't use auto brake because we want to touch and go and power up, but the second landing we will actually use automatic braking to help slow down. That's pretty much all you need to know for us to get going. So keep your left hand on the tiller across there and your right hand on the power levers here. We're going to move forward and then turn right to line up with the runway. That's it. That's about all the power you'll need, and it'll start to roll forward. And you just want to try and follow that yellow line around to the right. Good, so introduce a little bit more power for the turn. And now start turning right. That's it. Alright, that'll do there. Okay, so now we're lined up with the runway. Each aircraft is equipped with an automatic throttle, so for the takeoff phase you're just going to introduce some power. You will then press this little black button down here for the auto throttle, and that'll take care of itself. Then when I call rotate, you can pull back on your controls for rotate. That's it. Good.
Always wondered about.
Yeah, so we just set a little bit of power and then auto throttle kicks in. Now to steer with our pedals on the bottom of the floor here. That's it. Good, so this won't do anything at the moment, just your pedals on the floor. And rotate, so pulling back on your controls, that's it, nice and smoothly up off the ground. Well done. And release it back to neutral now. Beautiful. Now come across to your landing gear, lift it up, so pull it out towards you. That's right, I'll grab it, and then into the up position. Now you just want to push forward on your controls to lower that black dot back down to 10. That's it, a bit more force, down to 10. Good, and then you can just release the controls back to neutral. Beautiful, well done. So this is what's keeping the aircraft's nose in that position for you. Alright, we'll come across the flap. We're going to lift that up and put it into 1. That's it. And now we'll lift it up and prop it into 0. Now we're going to climb up to 3,000 feet for this one. So on the right hand side we've got our altimeter and it's passing 2,600. At about now, start to push forward and lower the nose down to the second white line. So that black dot on the second white line. Beautiful. Perfect. Yeah. Good, so this is the Gold Coast.
So we took off to...
Yeah, so we've taken off on 3-2 to the north. We're going to make a left-hand turn now and start tracking back down. So when you're ready, start turning left. Good. You can introduce a little bit more left turn. That's perfect there, and then just neutralise it back. Now we're going to turn these first 2 landing lights off, so lift them all the way up to the retract position. Next 3 switches here off. And both engine start switches to off, 1 click to the left. That's it. Now auto brake can come into the off position, and I'll grab the landing gear for you. So we're just going to continue this left-hand turn. Can you see this pink line on your navigational display here?
Yep.
That's going to keep turning around until it gets up to our 12 o'clock position up here. When it approaches that position, you're actually going to start turning right to level your wings, and we'll fly straight down the pink line. Have you done much flying in and out of the Gold Coast?
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah. It's a beautiful part of the world. Yeah, I've actually never been to Mackay. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Yep. So at the moment we're doing 230 knots on your left hand side, you can see that. And that's still using the auto throttle, so I've just set a speed up there and it's setting throttle power to achieve 230. Yep, that's it. No matter what we do, it'll change power to achieve that speed. Yeah. Yeah, so they're just fluctuating to keep it. So we are approaching that pink line now, so you can start turning right to level our wings up. Good, keep turning right. A bit more to the right. Yep, keep turning right. We just want to level it a little bit more. That's it, a little bit more. That's perfect. Now the airport's just down on your left hand side across there. But we're actually going to descend down to 2,000 feet. So to do that, we're going to push forward and lower the nose just down to the next white line, and that's enough for the descent. That's it. You can be a little bit more assertive with the controls. That's perfect. And you'll start to see our altitude winding itself down. And the power levers automatically work their way back to keep us at 230 knots. Now before we come in for landing, we're going to do some pre-landing checks. In front of you, you've got a black recall button. Just press that whole black button in. Yep, that's it. That lights up all the aircraft systems. If there was an issue with one system, one of those items would stay illuminated, and we could fix the issue, and then it would disappear. But it's all clear on your side and my side. So we're all clear for landing. Auto brake will stay in the off position for our touch and go, and then we'll just work out how fast we're going to come in for landing. So this is your flight management computer in front of you. I've got one and you've got one, and they share the same information. It's calculated how fast we want to land, so we're going to use 30 degrees of flap, which is going to give us 147 knots over the threshold. We add in 5 knots just as a bit of a buffer in case there's some wind gusts or anything. So we're going to land at 152 knots over the threshold. So at the moment we're still doing 230 knots, and we're going to slowly start to bring that back in stages to help slow down for landing. So we might as well start that now. Because the auto throttle's on, you just need to change this value up here. So if you wind that to the left and set 210, that's it. That'll automatically bring it back and slow us down to 210 knots. It varies depending what power setting and flap we have out, but we actually get a red line on our airspeed indicator. So you can see that little black dot down the bottom. It's around 158. That would be the speed at which we'd stall at the moment. Start to raise the nose, so pull back up to the next white line. That's it. Beautiful. We'll take flaps down to the 1 position now, and we'll set speed 190. And we'll take flaps down to 5 now, and speed 170. Good. Now you're probably wondering how we're going to land this thing. So in a moment we'll turn left and start tracking back to the runway. We're going to fly constant descent all the way down to the runway surface. You'll start to hear some audio call-outs that say 500, 400, 300. Count down your feet above the ground. When it gets to 100, the power levers are going to come all the way back. Then you can have 2 hands on the controls, and just before landing you're going to bring the controls back towards you a couple of centimetres. Just enough so that we have land with the main wheels before the nose wheel for landing. From there, once we're on the ground, you'll apply full power and we'll take off again. Alright, let's start turning left to go back to the runway. And that'll do there. Now also raise the nose up just a touch closer. That's it. A little bit more. That's it. Beautiful. Okay, we'll turn our first 2 landing lights back on now. Next 3 switches on. And both engines start switches. You need to push it in and then 1 click to the right. Perfect. So that's going to keep the igniters constantly firing for the landing phase. Do you want me to grab the landing gear again? Or you want to pull it out and pop it into the down position? Perfect. Yeah, you can feel them come on out, and we want to check that we get 3 green lights illuminated here, and that confirms all 3 gear are down and locked. Now as we're turning, you can see this white dotted line on your display. That's the extension of the runway center line, so we're just flying our white triangle aircraft around to that position there. And that curved line coming out of the triangle is representing our aircraft's path in the next 30 seconds, so it's a predictive turn for us. So we might actually start turning right to level the wings for the moment and track a little bit closer to our center line marker. That'll do there. We'll come across and put flaps down to 15. Speed 160. That's it. And now flaps can come down to 30 and speed 152 for landing. Good, let's start a left-hand turn now. Good. Good, bit more to the left. That'll do. Beautiful. And we'll come back around. You'll start to see the runway coming around to the left. That's it. And start turning to the right. Good. Bit more to the right. Beautiful. That's it. So can you see the runway in front of us? It's quite dim at the moment, but there's a large green area. Yeah. We've also just got a fuel light that's popping in and out, and that's just telling us we're running out of fuel in the centre tank. So we're going to turn these two centre pumps off if you want to lift them out and up. That's it. Good. Now start to lower the nose down to the next white line. And we'll start that descent for the runway. That'll do. Good. Now we're just going to keep manoeuvring slightly left and right to stay lined up with that runway. You want to see the runway sort of sit in line with your right leg, about here on the dashboard. Yeah, that's it. Good. And also lower that nose a bit further for me. Beautiful. They can, we just don't have the approval in Australia yet to do so. That's looking pretty good. Good. Just lower that nose a touch more. That's it. That'll do. Now that's the start of the altitude call-outs we talked about. I'm just going to remove the auto throttle, so you can now keep your right hand over here on the throttles and keep steering with your left.
500. 400. 300. 200. Brake rate.
That's it.
100.
Power all the way off.
Approaching minimums.
Just pull back just a touch, hold it there.
20, 10.
Beautiful, well done. Okay, now apply full power. Now we're just steering with our feet again to stay on the runway. And now you can rotate, so pull back nice and smoothly on your controls. That's it, keep pulling back. Beautiful. And release your controls there. Well done. Okay, do you want to reach across for the landing gear one more time? Lift it up. So pull it out. Yep, and all the way up. Beautiful. Or some people would say fun.
Oh no, it was fun.
Good. I'll just raise that nose up a little bit more, up to around the 10 marker.
Don't think.
Beautiful. That's it. Yeah, there's lots happening in that, and that's what I'm here for, to help you out with it. So normally in a two-crew environment, I would be doing a lot more stuff, but I'm just making you do most of the workload for fun. You can raise the flaps up to 1 now. So, yeah. And now your flaps can come up to 0. Now we might level off at 2,000 feet for this one. So we're approaching 1,600. We can start to push forward now, back down to the second white line. That'll do. Beautiful. Okay, we'll turn those first 2 landing lights off again. Next 3 switches off. Yeah, and both engines starts to off. And then landing gear handle out and into the center for off. If you can, or I can do it for you, that's alright. Much easier on my side. Okay, let's make a right hand turn on this one. We'll come back around for another landing. That'll do. Beautiful. Good. Just pull back on the controls, raise that nose up a fraction more. That's perfect. Looking good. So we can... no, I've only flown the simulator version of the 737. But this is, it's pretty realistic to the actual aircraft. I'd like to think if you needed someone to fly a 737, I could give it a crack. So we're just going to do the same thing, making right turn track past the airport again, for a right turn to line up with the airport one more time for landing. This time we will actually come to a stop on the runway. So same thing applies for landing. At 100 feet the power comes all the way back. Then pull back a little bit on the controls, couple centimetres to raise up the nose wheel. Once we're on the ground, then you can reach across and pull reverse all the way up and over for the landing. Yeah, so we're going for the pink line again. Just prior to the point we get to it, we'll start turning left to level your wings. Yeah, so about now. Perfect. Good. Now just lower that black dot, lower that nose back down to the next line. Yeah, that's it. Perfect there. Good. Okay, we'll do our pre-landing checks again, so just press your black recall button in. All clear on your side and my side. This time we're going to set our auto brake around to the maximum position for landing. So just turn that lever all the way around, and as you get to it, lift it out towards you to get it to max. That's it. So that's going to automatically apply brakes for us. One less thing for us to worry about. Our landing speed for 30 degrees of flap has now dropped down to 146 knots, plus our 5, so we're looking for 151 knots across the threshold. So as we start to burn fuel, we get a bit lighter and we can land a little bit slower each time. So are you based in Brisbane at the moment?
Yeah.
Oh, righto, yep. So that's going to be a big move then. Yeah, that's fair enough. So it's going to be much quieter up there? Yeah. Do you have kids down here?
No.
Yep. Oh, nice. Yeah, so you'll be closer. That'll be good. Alright, we'll start to slow the aircraft down if you want to set 210 up the top. So you can see on our display we're just approaching alongside the airport now. So we'll just track out a little bit further and we'll start to come back. You can turn to the right a bit more. Yeah, that'll do. Beautiful. And now just quick turn to the left to level the wings back. That's perfect. Well done. We will take flaps down into the 1 position. We'll set our speed 190. The little gates, it's just that they're significant markers to overspeed the flap, so it tries to restrict your movement so that you don't accidentally put way too much out when you're too fast. So we can now take flap down to the 5 position, and speed will be 170. We might turn those first 2 landing lights back on now, all the way down. That's it. Next 3 switches. And both engines starts, push them in, 1 click to the right for continuous. Good. Flaps down to, oh sorry, just pop it into the 5 position. That's it. Alright, let's make a right hand turn. We'll start tracking back for that runway. Good, that'll do there. Now pull back and raise the nose. It's just telling you deviating from your altitude. So it's letting us know that we're descending a little bit, which is why we're raising the nose up to counter that. Might want to raise that nose up just a touch further. That's perfect. Flaps can come down to 15 now. Speed 160. Good. Just start turning to the left. We'll shallow out that turn a bit. Beautiful. Landing gear can come into the down position. And again, we'll check for our 3 green lights to appear. Down and locked. Flaps can come down to 30 now for landing. Speed will be 151. And we're also going to arm our speed brake, so just lift it up and just slightly rearward. That's it, drop it there. And now you can see you've got speed brake armed appear in front of you. That's all you need to see. Beautiful. Start to lower the nose now, down to the first white line. That's it. Next one down. Perfect. Yeah, so they start to nose forward. Just turn to the left. That's it. Good. Yeah, so you feel them like bring the power back and then nose over. And you can start to see the runway out to your right a bit. Yeah, once you know what you're looking for, it's a bit easier. Pardon?
Slow step.
Yeah. You can start turning left. That's it, it's looking good. Yeah, you can come over to the left a bit more. That's it, now come right. Beautiful. Bit more to the right now. That's it, a bit more right. Good. Right hand on your throttles. Good, just raise up that nose just a touch. That's perfect. Yeah, you do feel you can turn a little bit more to the left. Yeah, that's it. Good. You also raise the nose up a bit more, so pull back. That's it, pull back just a little bit more. Beautiful. Now turn right. Bit more to the right. That's it.
100.
Okay, power coming back.
Approaching minimums.
All the way back.
40, 30.
Pulling back on your controls and hold. That's it. Hold it, just lower that nose a little bit more. Just forward. You're right, that's it. Good. Reverse, up and over. And I'm just helping you steer it straight again. Just with our feet, keeping it on the runway. Alright, now reverse can come all the way off. I'll push it forward. Beautiful. That's it. Now we're going to taxi off the runway, so we need to roll forward a little bit and you'll see a taxiway come up on the right. That's it. Now we're going to steer with the tiller against the wall. Pull that power back now. And start turning to the right. Yeah, that's it. We'll take this one here. Beautiful. Now we're just going to come to a stop here. So all I'm doing is pressing the top of our pedals now, which is our manual braking. If you want to pull that lever up, that's our park brake, and our park brake is now set. So now, as you pulled off the runway, all I did was lift up some flap, and I turned off some of your external lights, and I also started the auxiliary power unit that's in the tail. So at the moment, with the engines running, they're powering all the electricity, aircon, everything's coming off engine power. But now we're going to shut them down. We want all that stuff to keep running just off the generator now. So this is our electrical control unit up here. With these two levers in the center, we need to lift them out and into the down position. That's it. And with the next one, perfect. Now you've told the aircraft to draw power from the correct place. We can shut down the engines. So these two levers pull them out and all the way down. That's removing all the fuel from the engines. You'll hear them starting to power down. We can see power dropping offline on our engine display just there. And now the engines are shut down. We can turn our fasten seatbelt light all the way up to off. That's a familiar noise. Everyone jumps up and grabs their bags. Coming across here, we can turn our position and anti-collision lights into the off position. Good. So one of those was the red beacon under the belly, which tells the baggage handlers now they can approach the aircraft to grab your bags. Across to our fuel unit over here, we'll turn all four of these pumps off, so lift them out and up. So we've got three, so there's one in each wing and then one under the belly. Then across here is our hydraulic unit, so that's for your flight controls. So the first two in the centre here, lift them out and up. We're going to turn the electric pumps off. And then across here to our aircon unit. So we need to open the isolation valve, so this one comes out and down to open. And then this one comes out and down to APU. And that will keep the air conditioning running off the power from the APU. Congratulations, Captain. That was a great flight.